Hi friends! So today I'm going to be sharing a very personal story and just letting you know there are going to be some trigger warnings. I will be talking about grief, loss, and financial stress. I'm going to share how I rebuilt my life after loss and financial chaos, and now how I'm thriving after widowhood and how you can do the same. You probably never thought that you'd be here, but suddenly you're the one left behind with a broken heart, an empty house, and a million decisions that you never thought or asked to make. First of all, I'm really sorry that you're in this situation. This is a story that's still hard for me to share, but today I'm going to share a little bit. But please take care of yourself throughout this video. Take care of your heart as we walk through this together because it may be really hard. The very first thing is the shock and the shift. So this was the moment that everything changed for me. I ended up meeting my husband in 2017. We married in 2018 and we were living our dream life. So we were traveling, we were building a home, we were creating something beautiful. In 2022, the cracks started to show, and we actually started the divorce process in 2023, and then everything changed. I came home one morning and I saw his car still in the driveway. Typically, he's off at work at that time. I went upstairs and I had found him unresponsive. He was 41. Nothing prepares you for this moment, not financially, not spiritually, not emotionally. And suddenly I was planning for a funeral. I was handling creditors. I was handling paperwork. And you actually have to make a ton of decisions that you have to actually do alone. You're drowning. You're not even functioning. You can't even get through the day, let alone the next minute. That's what it felt like for me. And that's probably what it feels like for you. This is a part where I was just lost, and you have to go through this process of wanting to hold on, but you're trying to let go at the same time, and you just feel like you're losing everything. The old life that you knew, the dreams that you had, the future that you were trying to build, your sense of self, everything is completely gone and nothing actually matters in this moment. Sometimes when I thought it was the worst that it could be, I would just tell myself, get through the next minute. That's literally was my time frame, is just, what do I need to get through the next minute? And so in these moments is when I called my family, or I reached out to a friend, or I would journal and write everything down. I would cry hysterically. I just did everything I could to get through the next minute. One of the hardest decisions that I had to do was sell my house, and I wanted to hold on to it so badly because I couldn't afford it on my own. I filed paperwork that I never wanted to touch, and I was questioning everything. Every single day just felt like it was going to last forever, and I was stuck in a nightmare. When you're grieving, even choosing what to eat for dinner can feel impossible. I was talking to my therapist and I was telling her I was really concerned and I wasn't able to feel good. And she said, right now, what you're trying to do is survive. So just know that if you're in this situation, it's okay, and not to feel guilty and put a lot of pressure on yourself because of something tragic that happened and everything that you're trying to do and handle. There's going to be things that fall off your plate, and just know that it's okay. When you're trying to make financial decisions, it can feel like a second death because normally you would be sitting down and having those conversations together. And I want you to also know that it's okay to fall apart. It's okay to ask for help. Honestly, the best thing and the worst thing is time. So the next step would be starting to rebuild. And this is going to be whenever it happens. Rebuilding isn't linear. Some days you're going to feel strong. And some days you're going to scream into pillows. And some days you're going to cry in the grocery store. The first year was a whole blur. After that point is when I started to get help. I actually had to get on medication, and I found a good therapist. And eventually you will start to find the pieces of yourself again. There were moments where I just felt like this was all my fault. Why didn't I say things sooner? Why didn't I say something different? What if I could have? What if I did this? What if I said that? And talking to all of my friends and family and my therapist, there's absolutely nothing you could have done to change anything or make anything different. Those thoughts are completely normal, but you have to get your brain to honestly move forward, move out of the what if, and you have to just keep telling yourself that there was nothing you could do and you did the best and everything you possibly could have done. Journaling really helped me a lot, especially when I started to feel like a burden to the people around me, which going back, I wouldn't feel like that again because it absolutely was something that everybody wanted to be there for me. And so do reach out and talk to people, even if it feels uncomfortable, because one of the last things was that my therapist said was, don't be alone in the worst moments. Reach out, talk to someone, tell someone, hey, I'm really struggling today. I'm not sure how to get through the day. People want to be there for you. As you're finding yourself again, you will find that you have purposeful work that you still need to do that people need from you. And that was something that helped carry me forward, was remembering that I'm going through this for a reason, and maybe I'm designed to also help other people. And I know in the moment it doesn't seem like it, and you have to show it for yourself first, but then your story and what you go through can actually help someone else who's going through the same thing. Have a small group of support to reach out to in case you have a really rough day, because I guarantee they will want to be there for you. There's no timeline for healing, and healing is not linear. It was kind of like this roller coaster ride. I would be like really good and have a good day, and then I would shoot back down and have the worst day ever, and I couldn't make it through. Be patient with yourself because it's all part of the healing process. One of the best things that I did was I cried when I felt like crying, because that's honestly love and sadness and grief exiting your body. You're not designed to hold it all in. So definitely give yourself room and space to just scream into your pillow, go take a shower and bawl your eyes out, go call a friend and be hysterically crying if you need to, or just spend those moments alone grieving as hard as you can, because that's going to actually help you heal really fast. I guarantee life is going to look really different after you lose your spouse. You have to cope with the loss. You have to figure out where all your new puzzle pieces belong. You have to put yourself back together, and then you have to step back to figure out, what does your big picture look like? What do your new goals look like? What does your new self look like? What do you want to do with your life? What things bring you joy? These are things that maybe you lost along the way. And that's what's so hard about the grieving process, is that you're not just grieving the loss of another person, you're grieving the loss of who you were with that person and having to figure out a whole new you. Eventually what will happen is every day will get a little bit better and a little bit better when you're towards the end of your grieving process. The days between crying will be a little bit longer, and you'll start smiling and you'll start laughing. I think it took me about a year and a half before I started to feel like myself again, and I struggled through that year and a half. There were moments where I didn't think that I would be here today. That's how bad it was. But I had a whole team with me. I had my family and my friends, and I had medication, and I wasn't ever alone. And so your future is going to be whatever you want it to be, and you get to take the time and you get to set up your own timeline of what your future looks like for you. A lot of people will start to feel guilty and they'll live for their spouse. What would my late spouse want me to do? And here's something that I would encourage you to do, is ask yourself, what do I want to do? What do I love? What do I enjoy? What makes me feel good? What makes me feel comfortable? Something they would want you to do is be happy with whatever that looks like for you. You may get a lot of judgment, and I would say don't listen to that judgment. They honestly have no need to comment on whether they think you're moving too fast through the healing process or too slow through the healing process, or what they would do. I will tell you, if they have been through it themselves, they will be so gracious and so caring and really understand that it is a whole process and it takes a long time, and healing looks different for everybody. Please don't allow other people to make you feel guilty during this process, because I already know you're carrying a lot of guilt for losing your spouse and not knowing what to do. Please just take those comments with a grain of salt and really lean into and trust yourself. And maybe sometimes you'll have to come up with boundaries to get people to understand that what they're saying is actually not appreciated. So here's what life looks like for me today. I'm in a new chapter. I'm recently engaged to a very kind and supportive man, and we're getting married this September. I'm nearly debt-free after clawing my way back out of that chaos. And I sold my house, so the money that I got from my house is just sitting in a CD, just quietly on the side, growing until the time when I need to use it. I've built this business, and it's for you. It's for the woman who has faced heartbreak and devastation and still dares to want more. So some days being fearless means letting someone else be brave for you, and then some days being fearless means you've remembered your own strength. So if any part of this story makes you feel seen, Please know that that's why I've shared it. Just letting you know that I've run into so many women who have unexpectedly lost their spouses and never thought they would be in this situation. So this is your space too, whether you're grieving or you're financially overwhelmed or you're just trying to find your footing again. Don't judge yourself through the process because you're not broken, you're not too late, and you can rebuild on your own timeline and in your own way with whatever that means to you. Thank you so much for letting me share my story. You're stronger than you think, and you're allowed to thrive even after loss. It was great chatting with you, and I'll see you in the next one.